The Isle of Cats. This is a fantastic, really thematic polyomino game where you're collecting cats of different shapes and placing it on a ship to rescue them from an island that's about to be, destroyed. Now, the cats, to attract them, you're going to have fish tokens, which are kind of a currency in the game. You get to take from either one side of the island or the other, which basically means how much fish you have to pay to collect them. But you also need baskets. So if you have a basket, you flip it over to show that you've caught a cat in there, and then you immediately put the cat on your ship. Now, covering up certain things gives you certain bonuses, but certainly you want to cover up as much of the space on your ship as possible, so you can't overlap any of those tiles, and you can't go outside of the grid or the shape of the ship. At the end of the game, of course, if there are any rooms that are in the ship that are not fully covered, you do lose points. And there are rats on certain squares that cover on that ship, and any rats visible at the end of the game that weren't covered by a cat tile will also lose you points. Now, the game is primarily done, gameplay-wise, through card drafting. So you're going to get a hand of cards at the start of a round, and then choose a card to keep, and then pass that hand to the next player, and then you choose another card until all the cards are taken. And then from those cards, you would pay fish tokens to keep the cards in your personal hand, discarding the ones that you don't want to keep. Now, those cards are what you use to initiate all of the actions needed in the game, whether they're a special one-time thing or collecting treasure, which are other polyomino tiles that cover up space in your ship, or giving you more baskets, and of course helping you get higher up in turn order so that you can have a better chance of picking the cat polyomino tile that you want instead of having lost it to another player. The game plays pretty quickly. I'd say 45 minutes to an hour, and it plays up to 4 players unless you have the expansion, which it can go up to 5. It's very thematic. It has a lot of color, and it's got, I think it's just a lot of fun to look at on the table. And if you like games that have tiles of varying shapes and placing it in covering grid map areas, and if you like cats, this is a great, fun game that came out in the past couple years that is quite popular. I do see it played pretty often at game conventions. It's just a good standby game for those who like tile games. And if you've never played a polyomino tile placement game, just think it's similar to Tetris. But instead of like them falling into place, you get to collect it, and then you kind of cover up area with the different shaped pieces. And whereas Tetris, those shapes are made of like 4 square, pieces. These can be of any shape and any number of those squares. So that's how this one works. It's a lot of fun. I highly recommend you check it out. That's called The Isle of Cats.